I don't know what the fuck you're saying. With danger to Brian Koberger and court resources stretched thin, what exactly was the plan during trial, right? Because every single day of a 4-month trial, there was going to be explosive testimony and evidence made public. What was the plan for his security then? How is it any different than right fucking now? I don't get that at all. Screw Brian Koberger's safety. The issue is not his safety with a dissemination order, being lifted. This part just doesn't make any sense. You are going to have a 4-month trial. That's going to be way more dangerous than lifting a non-dissemination order now for a couple of days before sentencing. Safety? How could it be any different than at trial? Okay, maybe I'm missing something, and Ann Taylor, please call me if I'm missing something. And here's where the defense motion today also gets interesting. Koberger's lawyers accuse the prosecution of trying to look like the grown-ups in the room, claiming that the state now withdraws its request to keep the gag order in place, quote, out of respect for the victims and the judicial process. Koberger's lawyers are calling BS on that. They point out that when the prosecution states that it promises not to speak to the press, that's vague. It's vague, they say. Vague at best. Does that include attorneys, support staff, all 150 law enforcement officers involved in the case? Koberger's attorneys say that if you were in the courtroom on July 2nd, you would know that an entire row of courtroom gallery was filled with law enforcement. And Koberger's team is asking the obvious question. If the order is lifted, what's stopping any of them from giving interviews the minute they leave the courtroom? To which I say, right, yeah, exactly. It's a public process. They're public officers. This is a...
Yeah, I don't want to...
We're the public and we've been left out of it. After the sentencing, his attorneys argue that it is reasonable, it's narrowly tailored, and it doesn't actually prevent the media from covering the case. It just stops the parties from fueling the chaos. Bullshit! Yeah, the media has been prevented from covering the case because we don't even know who the witnesses are half the time. We don't even know what the investigators found in that house. We don't even know half the stuff that led to Brian Koberger, right? Or what they had on him, or why they saw it necessary to sign a deal with him instead of going through with a death penalty case. Why? What was it that changed your mind? Right? Prosecutors, what the hell was it that made you cut a deal? Because for the rest of us, with the limited information we have, it looked like dead to rights. I mean, it looked like you had him slam dunk. What was it? I guess that's under the gag order. His lawyers say that keeping the gag order in place is the only way to protect the integrity of the process and the safety of everyone involved. Maybe you're partly right, Ann Taylor. Maybe you're right. Maybe there is a possibility that before sentencing, Brian Koberger could throw a fucking wrench into all of this and say, ineffective assistance of counsel before I give up my right to appeal forever and ever. Before you lay that sentence on me, I got one more knife that I want to stick into the process and fuck with everybody. Maybe you're right. And so maybe keeping the gag order in place until sentencing will protect us all from him being able to do that. But the rest of it, the security, Brian Koberger, fuck him. I honestly do not care about the security of Brian Koberger. I really don't. And I probably speak for a lot of people when I say I hope he gets shanked in prison so he knows what it is about the security of Brian Koberger. I really don't. And I probably speak for a lot of people when I say I hope he gets shanked in prison so he knows what it's like.
I'd like to give a big shout out and thanks to True Crime Dago. I was watching it on his channel, so I wanted to react on this. Please like, share, and subscribe to his channel. This is shocking for me. I've grown up watching Ashley Banfield. in missing cases and in different cases. She is a known, intelligent, excellent reporter. She wouldn't say such things on News Nation, I believe. I thought there was community guidelines with YouTube. This is shocking behavior, especially the fact that she said, I don't care about the safety of Brian Koberger. We found out new information that Brian Koberger, his father Michael Koberger, his mother, I forgot her name, and his sisters, his whole family, are getting threats. They're being threatened. I always said that I had the feeling that they're being threatened, and many of my subscribers have said the same. We all can see there's something wrong. And now he needs more money and resources for his protection. So on the 2nd of July, they went to the court. She's trying to say basically that he shouldn't be entitled to his security. And the reporters are more upset than us because of the gag order, which I can understand. But the guy's taking a plea deal. If he wants to tell us and tell the families what he's done and his apology, he would say it in the hearing. Or he'd write letters to the families. He's an intelligent man. But maybe he's not doing that because he said from the start, I will be exonerated. Let's not forget, he said BF has exculpatory evidence that will claim me. This man said he will be exonerated. We've seen his previous lawyer, attorney, Jason Labar from Pennsylvania, BK's first lawyer. He said that BK was a intelligent, decent young man. He said he was one of my best customers or best clients because he understood everything quickly. I didn't need to explain anything to him. He said he did not do it, and he was convinced and he was determined that he'd be exonerated. Let's not forget that. Why is his family being threatened? The gag order is a big deal, but for us in social media, we know what's going on exactly. We heard the 911 call, and that's enough for us. What is the gag order going to tell us? More mess that was created? More evidence that was lost? What is it going to tell us? Why isn't the gag order? Why wouldn't the gag order tell us about other police reports at night? Other incidents that happened, like the fight at the Sigma Chi? Why is all the focus in this investigation from the beginning being on Koberger? They always spoke about they were searching for, what was the word? Occupants, suspects. They used to use those words in the beginning. And we saw there was a white Hyundai Elantra that passed by the gas station, and it looked like there were people. There was more than one person in the car. That timeline doesn't even come in with Koberger. They're putting Koberger on the 4 a.m. timeline that they changed it to. Nothing happened in 4 a.m. besides that they ordered the DoorDash. They were sitting and chilling at home while there were 4 people who are unalived. They were ordering on Zana's name. Zana doesn't have to be there. May she rest in peace. She doesn't have to be physically there to order food on her phone or to watch TikTok. This is the timeline and theory that the frats and the surviving roommates made up. But let me come back to my reaction of Ashley Banfield. I'm really disappointed. Really disappointed. Because you're supposed to have ethical morals. You've worked with families that are grieving, that have had bereavements. I'm sure you've gone to funerals. And I'm sure you're upset with the whole thing about the gag order. But you have to remember, Brian Christopher Koberger is a human being. By law, he's entitled that his safety is protected. You yourself are saying that the court and defense, and I think prosecution, has said that Koberger, his father, his mother and sisters have been getting threats. So you can't say he's not entitled to security when some people just want him hanged and get it done with. What happened to justice? What happened to a jury? Why isn't he be taken to a jury? I agree with Ashley for one thing. Why are they offering him plea deals and all? I've always said the prosecution knows if this case goes to court, that's it. They have to literally answer for all the nonsense because they have a witness who's just full of nonsense. Witnesses or surviving roommates. Let's not forget what the police said. Chief Rice said, I never said they were witnesses. I said they were just there. They weren't witnesses. They were people of interest too, but they were cleared. They were told to say 4 a.m., 5 past 4. It didn't happen at those times. I've proved that many times, and so has many other creators. Bless them. We all are working hard, trying to show everyone what we don't think is right. And with your support, without our subscribers, we wouldn't be anywhere. So thank you all for that. But I just wanted to show you all this. I think this is really wrong. Swearing, I can't stand swearing. I don't love anyone in my family to swear. That has something to do with no matter what mood you're in, you can't be swearing on TV, especially when you are one of the top 10 maybe reporters that you see on TV. Because as soon as we see Ashley Banfield, we remember News Nation. It's like you see Don Lemon and you remember CNN. So you're representing a big TV production. But I'm more upset and hurt that you spoke so badly of Brian Koberger without even knowing. The gag order hasn't been lifted up. Maybe he isn't the one. Maybe he pleaded guilty because he's been threatened. That's what I've always said. And now, thank God that you said it too. He and his family has been threatened. Why don't you all send him back to Pennsylvania? Let him do his term there. This needs to go to the Supreme Court. This case makes no sense. Even if Koberger's involved, where are the others? Where are the others? Running around with knives and all. You all talk about social media and YouTube creators and all. At least we investigate and try to find out who's who. People may say that we're scrutinizing the Banfield and the Grub truck pictures, but I'm glad I did that. Otherwise, how could we have ever seen Saeed and the pictures he was watching? How could we have seen Jovito and the pictures he's watching? Analyzing the Grub truck, I've seen so many people are carrying knives. This case has become a nasty cover-up. But now we are witnessing things that aren't supposed to happen. You can't ask for the gag order to be lifted up. The news can ask, the reporters can ask. You can file in an application. But you have to be patient. If his defendants, his attorney, said that it's not safe for him, for his family, for her, for the other staff, she said. She means the judge and the prosecutor. So these threats sound like they're very serious. I'm surprised, that's all I can say, of what and how Miss Banfield or Mrs. Banfield spoke. This is not how you speak, because children could be awake listening to it. And this is not a way to speak about Brian Koberger, because nobody was there that night. Nobody knows what happened in Idaho, Moscow. Some people will tell you, don't speak about the surviving roommates. But at the same time, they'll tell you they will be speaking bad about Beaky. And if you say, why are you speaking bad about Beaky? They'll say, no, it's different, he did it. How do you know Dylan didn't do it? How do we know BF didn't do it? How do we know Quinn Kelly, DM his boyfriend, didn't do it? You saw the black truck driving up and down. It came from 1122 King Road, and it was Quinn Kelly's father's car. Or what's it called? It was a truck. So they need to give Koberger seriously a break. Because this is not even good for his mental health. He's going through a lot of stress. He's lost a lot of weight. I hope they don't actually take off the gag order. I always want and pray that the gag order comes off so that we can see all the nonsense and see what exactly happened or get some kind of closure. But right now, I agree with Ann Taylor. Do not bring out the gag order. The news are running wild with it. They've already made Koberger seem like an incel, a SK, a P word, and everything worse. So let the gag order stay the way it is, in my opinion. The judge and Taylor are right about that. I wonder if we'll ever hear from Brian Koberger. Do you think he will apologize to the family or say something? I don't see that coming. And I think he's not showing any empathy because mentally or psychologically, that's just the way he looks at people, his behavior, his eye contact, and such things. It's kind of tricky because you don't even know if his apology is from the heart. It's difficult to see. But I think at the same time, he's very prideful and he wins in a lot of debates and he loves to debate. So I don't think Koberger is going to go without a fight, not in my opinion, and not at all. I think Koberger is going to, I don't know, maybe write a book. if he's threatened so badly and he took the plea deal, my question is, was he involved? Let's be honest, was he involved? Where was Kohlberger that night? What was he doing around these areas? His alibi was he was in YYY Park. Come on, there's something not right. So Kohlberger was playing silly games with us. If he took the plea deal, the question is, was he threatened? And now it looks like he seems to have been threatened. He and his family. That's what Ashley said, and I'm sure the news is out there. So this is really serious. If he and his family are being threatened, that just shows he didn't do it. I've always said it's these fraternity boys who did it. All the pictures I see, even the blurry ones, when I zoom it up, I've never seen Kohlberger in any of them. But I've seen many people who look like the people at the grub truck, allegedly. And especially Banfield. Those three look like they went and changed their clothes. But coming back to Ashley, I enjoy your reporting, but Ashley, that is, I don't even know what to say. That is wrong. That is so wrong, because you have to remember, you haven't even seen the gag order. We don't know if this man is pleading guilty because he's under threats, like you all said now. Kohlberger is a human being. It's not fair for the media to be spreading things like he's an incel when he's not. Just because the man keeps himself and he has a condition, he said he has ASD, autism spectrum disorder. So why are we sitting here and criticizing a mental health patient? He has OCD. He suffers of anxiety. Maybe he was at the wrong place at the wrong time. But that doesn't give us a right, no matter who we are, to put in our opinion so harsh like that. Because even the judge wouldn't speak like that. This is all your emotions, your opinion. You're trying to get something out. I can see that as a therapist. But we have to remember our humanity. Let Kohlberger live. He's under serious threats already. Guys, let me know what you'll think about this. I'm just reacting to what I've seen. And I saw this on Dago's channel, so thank you, Dago. And I think this is just wrong. This is way wrong. You can't talk in that manner, especially to someone who, him and his family, are under serious threats. This man has been sitting 2 years and 7 months in a prison. And the case was just dragging on and on. I believe the prosecutor and his team didn't have much. They weren't ready to go to court. They must have found something that was maybe damning for both sides, for their sides and for his side, BK's side. They must have seen BK hanging around with the frats. We never know. So they cut him a sweet deal. Let me know, guys, what you think. Have a lovely night.